It's the beginning of February and right now is a great time to prune your trees and shrubs. They're still dormant. You can see kind of where you screwed up the year before, where you're thinking, yeah, I should have cut that off ages ago. And you can really have a look at the structure of a tree and deciding how you want it to look. And trust me, there is a lot of stuff to prune in this garden. So when it comes to pruning, there's two different kinds of cuts. You have the thinning cut and you have the heading cut. The thinning cut takes the inside branches out and makes sure that they don't regrow. With a heading cut, you stimulate new growth, but you kind of try to position where the growth goes. Also, when it comes to pruning, always think about your D. Diseased, damaged, dead. Those ones have to come off anyway, regardless where they are on the tree. Also, what you have to consider when you're taking down branches, whether it's a thinning or a heading cut, or you cut the diseased shit off, obviously the root ball remains as big as it is with less branches to feed. So obviously come springtime, it's just going to go boom, and all of a sudden you have a hell of a lot more crop, flowers, and obviously also branches growing. Always consider that when you're cutting something down and they start growing again, boom, there's going to be a lot of growth. So let's have a look at this one. And there's clearly quite a few branches inside. So I'm going to be removing all of these. You do the thinning cuts right here. So this is where you cut them off by the stem, so they're not going to regrow. And when it comes to pruning, I'm an old-fashioned man. I kind of like a good hand job. So what I use is manual tools. And I mean, obviously you can go in there with a chainsaw, you can go in there with pretty much anything, like these reciprocating saws, but I prefer, doing it the old-fashioned way. So, and this is the thinning cut, and I get quite close to the trunk and just cut. And then there's other ones here you just don't want. We're trying to create a nice and airy space in this. Someone said once, as long as a big fat duck or dove or swan can fly through it, it's good. Also, the more airflow you have going through the tree, less of a chance of disease the tree has. So we're just looking around at the tree, what looks symmetrical and what doesn't. So if you're now talking about a heading cut, so if you see this branch, I mean, this one is quite cute and I think it can stay. I just don't want it to grow into my bamboo too much. So what we're going to do now, we want to make sure that all the new branches will grow outwardly. So see this? This is where a new branch will emerge from. So we cut at an angle and the branch will grow out that way. And this is pretty much all there is to it. So you've got the thinning and the heading one. And then you just walk around the garden. And this I love doing. I love walking around the garden at this time of the year, freezing my ass off, and looking at the trees going, okay, good, fine. That branch is somewhat annoying. That one can come off and that one can come off. So let's do that. If you're wondering, I am wearing my heated vest underneath here. So I'm not just relying on my fat to keep me warm. So here we have a lilac tree, which is a beautiful, beautiful tree. But you can tell that I have done nothing to this. So here we need to do a little bit of chopping out and clearing out. And the thing with lilacs is that they have all these suckers. You can dig these out and all of these will become individual trees, which we have done all over the property. And you just go in there without any mercy. So this definitely looks much better now. I still want to have the canopy really dense on top, because once the flowers appear, they look absolutely stunning. And the wonderful thing is this one is kind of like a light purple and the one in the back is dark purple. So they play nicely with each other. Just looking at this one again. So we've got a few branches that are going in, which we don't want. So right now I'm really happy with it. I know there is this branch here, this one. It looks like it's crossing and touching. It is kind of going at a bend. And if you're looking at it, if I would take this off, I think it would disrupt the overall look of the tree. It looks kind of like an ice cream in a cone. So you've got the cone and then it goes bigger and then you've got the whole, canopy up there with all the leaves and all that sort of stuff anyway, and also I think this is a pussy willow too. Anyway, there's some pussies coming up here. However, we can always cut this off next year or whenever. Or not every single thing needs to be done in the same year. So it's all, like anything in the garden, it's work in progress. So this entire branch here, this all has to come off because it's just lump size and it's just annoying. But I'm not just going to be cutting off here and then it go boom. When I work on large trees like this, I tend to use my telescopic thing. You know, so you just press and push it out, and then I start chopping from the top down. I'm not going to be doing all of this today because it's quite a bit of work. And I must say, this thing is absolutely amazing. It is a brilliant, brilliant tool. If you work on large trees like this, you really, really have to be extremely careful because they may not look that big when you look up, but trust me, when the branches are coming down, some of them are fucking massive. You know, so just start chopping down, and then once we have a realistic size trunk, then we can cut here on the bottom to actually take the whole thing off. And this is what I mean. It didn't really look that big. When it comes down, it is massive. So bear that in mind. Anyway, that's me for the day. Daylight is fading, it's getting even colder right now, and it is starting to rain as well. But it was a great day pruning my trees. Go out there, prune your trees. It is the perfect time of the year to do so. And yes, I'm going to go inside, take some laudanum, and just chill for the rest of the evening. Anyway, I shall talk to you guys later.